Hey guys, a fellow collector in my area posted a photo of some material, some documentation online, and was wondering if anybody would be interested in it. I immediately recognized it for what it was and said, yes, absolutely, I would love to have a copy. Well, he ended up sending me the originals. So thank you very much. I wanted to spend some time in this video going through what he sent me. So to recognize it right away is this is a Norelco DuoVue, of which I now have two in various states of preservation, restoration. Now some of this is scanned and available online, but some of it I have never seen before, in particular this. So let's start out with this. This, I guess, is a salesman handout, dealer handout. Sales brochure for the Norelco DuoVue system. So on front, it's a 3x4 foot home movie size television from your present set, and they show with, I guess that is, yeah, it's an RCA 630 TS on top of one with a screen behind. So the whole point of this is you connect your existing TV to it and it turns it into a projection system. There's switches on it, so you can either watch your set sitting on top of it, direct view, or the bottom unit could project out the back onto a wall or a screen. You had to kind of butcher your TV to do it, though. You had to splice into a number of existing wires, so it wasn't a trivial thing to do by any means. But I had never seen this before, where they actually describe how the system works and what you can do with it, and they're suggested retail price of $199.50. So, neat thing to have for sure. Now, Norelco is actually Philips, but Philips couldn't sell, or Norelco, I should say. Philips couldn't sell under the name Philips in the U.S. because of Philco, so they called themselves Norelco. And they call it DuoView because you view it from the front or from the back. And Protogram is the actual little 3-inch projection system that's inside of it. But you may not have realized that aside from this system, they actually also sold a TV, a complete TV using this as a rear projection system inside the cabinet. These are kind of rare. And I guess it was made directly by Norelco. I guess Norelco is short for North American Philips Company Incorporated. Alright, what about the rest of this stuff? Well, I believe we have 2 copies of the service info. I think these are identical, but there are some inserts in it. So this describes what you have to do to your TV to make it work. We have to tap into the horizontal and vertical deflection systems. And they talk about how to set up the actual projection system, adjust the throw and the focus, the optics. In other words, they talk about how you kind of plugs it comes with it, how to hook them up, and it includes a list of all the parts and a schematic. Always nice to have the originals when you can because they're easier to read. You know what was on that piece of paper that was inside? Well, apparently somebody bought this from Allied Radio Corporation. Somebody in Lyon, Illinois. And this is their bill of sale or whatever, although there's no price on it. 1950. Apparently they bought the projection screen and the unit itself. And this is the same thing, but it also has a price schedule. In other words, what the dealer paid for this. So the complete system, the dealer we get for $153.65, and they suggest you sell it for $219.50. And then they break it down. This is what really kills me. The 3NP4 projection CRT, the dealer could get it for $14.63, and they would charge a customer $19.50. I would love to pay $19.50. I'll got paid $50 for our new old stock. They're just not around. Also, I was curious what the other stuff cost. So of these various items, it looks like the projection CRT was the cheapest part. The high voltage supply was about almost twice as much. And the optical box was quite expensive. So the focus coil, deflection coil, and the optics, almost $100. They'd charge a customer for that. Front surface mirror, $9. Then it even goes further with it itemized for every single piece that's in there, or every component. The knobs, the resistors, 10 cents for a single resistor, for example. $2-3 for a control. It's not something you often see an itemized list where how much a nut costs, how much a washer costs, how much a spring costs. 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents. So if you were missing a washer, you could look up the part number and you could order one for 5 cents. Well, you can get repair parts too. Concave mirror for $29. Front surface mirror for $12. Corrector lens for $11.17. We have more. Here's another price schedule. Info about it. But now we get to cool old ads. I haven't seen this image before. It's a really, really cool demonstration of how the system would look in practice. So it's throwing the image quite away, 8 feet away. These are stapled together. That's a shame. I haven't seen this before either. It shows a guy actually installing it. Back view of the DuoView system. And then showing the back of the TV. And he skips a few steps from here to here of actually splicing in and wiring in all the plugs. Trying to make it look like it's really easy to do. More photos of the actual stuff inside. Oh, that's a slightly different system. This other stuff was all the PA2, PA2A. This is a PA3C. It's a commercial version of it. And for schools and clubs, you could install it in the wall and make a rear projection system built into the wall for your. Looks like a diner, a bar. It's the same basic system though. Or build into the wall of your home. Various bits and pieces that comprise the whole system. And if you order, it comes in this nice DuoView box. Ah, now this is interesting. So, how long does one of these projection CRTs last? It's a really good question. Don't have an answer. If you look at the data sheet, don't know. Nobody around to ask really anymore. But on this sheet, I talk about a warranty. The 3NP cathode ray tube warranty period shall be 1 year or 1,000 hours, whichever expires first. So they warranted that your 3N4 would last 1,000 hours. In practice, on average, I assume it would last longer than that. How much longer? Don't know. But in this day and age, what I tell people is watch sets modestly. So imagine if you had a new one that was good for 1,000 hours. If you're watching an hour a month, you're good for 1,000 months, which is a very long time. But if you're watching it 5 hours a day, it's not going to last that long. So I've seen people ask, hey, I want to restore this vintage TV and have it on all day, every day in my shop. No, don't do that. It will wear out fairly quickly, at least for these really early sets. Hey, while we're at it, how about we take a look at one? So this is one that I picked up earlier this year in the spring, and honestly, I have not looked inside of it yet. It was out in the garage for a while. I recently brought it inside. I've been using it as a cart because it has nice caster wheels on it, and it's designed to hold a heavy TV. So when I'm working on some heavy sets, I put them on this and I can wheel it around. But I've never actually taken the cover off of this and looked inside. So this would be the side that would go up against the wall, and that's where the light comes out and project onto a wall or a screen. So this should come off somehow. This is power cord looped here, then you plug the TV into this. Looks like there's only 2 screws left holding this in. Alright, I'll grab a Phillips screwdriver. Just happen to have one handy. Now if you're wondering about the other unit I have, and yes I do have another one, yeah, I started restoring it. It's really rough. And when I found out that I'd be getting my hands on this one, I was thinking I'd hold off until I saw what was inside this one, and then maybe between the two of them, make one nice complete unit. Alright, well there she is. And yeah, it's all there. It's all there. Here's a closer look at it. I think you can see one of the nice caster wheels poking out down there. They're pretty sizable. So what are we looking at? Well, here's the projection box. The light comes out here. It's a 3-inch CRT in there. Here's the end of it. This is a deflection yoke. And that's a high voltage supply. And up there is a little chassis. It's hanging down from the top. It has 2 or 3 tubes in it. And then there are a couple controls down here, I guess, for width and linearity. So the way this works is it relies on the deflection amps of a donor TV. So you need to cut the wires on the vertical output transformer and the horizontal output transformer, aka the flyback, and connect it to this yoke. But actually you do it through these connectors up here, and then there's a big rotary switch up here. So you can flip between the two. But you absolutely do need to cut wires in your other set. So say the output of the vertical transformer would go into this, and then there'd be signal coming back out that would go to the yoke in your other TV. So signal coming in, and it either drives this yoke or drives the yoke in the other TV. The little chassis up here, I think, has a little bit of a booster amp, but also it's a circuit that detects the presence of the deflection signals. So say you turn the TV off that's sitting on top of this, you don't want this to continue to drive the CRT because the yoke is no longer deflecting the electron beam. You will vaporize a nice spot in the face of this projection CRT. It runs on something like 20,000 volts. And it's just an itty bitty, like 2.5-inch diameter screen. So you have to keep the raster, you have to keep the electron beam moving at all times. It's very intense, and if it pauses for just a little too long in any spot, it's going to damage the phosphor, and if it's there for too long, it will burn a hole right through it and ruin it. So that's why it's so crucial to have that circuit in this. So it looks super clean. I don't know if it works or not. Doesn't look like it's been recapped or anything, so at the minimum I'd want to replace some paper caps and review that again, because I want to make sure that the circuit that protects the CRT is working. And then I've heard these high voltage supplies are pretty reliable. They're kind of sealed. There's a tripler inside there. There are 3 high voltage rectifier diodes, and it's in a can. I think it's in an insulating oil bath. It's not, if one of those tubes goes out, it's not meant to be repaired. But people have done it, where they've drained the oil, replaced the tube, and refilled it. I don't want to have to do that. But let's save that for another day, because, well, I need to get a donor TV up here and cut into it to hook this all up. But this one is in much better condition than the other one, so I think it's far more likely that we'll get this one up and running rather than the other one. So, very, very happy to get all this extra documentation, which should help me all the more to get this up and working. But wait, there's more. He also kindly included this, because he knows I have one to restore, actually 2, which is the original RCA factory service manual for the model ATS-30. So, this is all excellent material. I will definitely be making use of it, because I plan on restoring at least one ATS-30 and at least one Norelco DuoVue. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.